concentrate on the orientation, because orientation is a kind of I should say an opening ceremony of your professional studies, where you learn some knowledge, some of the ideas and experiences of the people who have worked in this area, to share their knowledge, to share experience about what kind of attitude we need for a profession. Uh, this is especially to be studying profession. At this time, today we are talking about studying. You are not going to do a profession right now. You are going to be studying. So how would you concentrate? Or how do you make it a priority? How do you, what are the different dimensions you have to be careful? So today I have been asked to be part of your orientation. And first of all, I want to tell you that all the students who are here today are very fortunate that if we look at the population of the country, uh, I'm sure you will know what a insignificant number of students and their parents can afford to send a student for a professional study like this institute or any private institutes. And it's not and you should be feeling yourself privileged, because uh, I should say the people who were all the migrant laborers, if you have seen on the roads, you should imagine if they had opportunity to be self-employed, or if they had some income, they were not on the road, their families were not suffering. So I think first of all the students must appreciate. And I also think that orientation is not only for students, it's also for the faculties to now this is the first orientation uh, session in 35 years of my service as a Baha'i pioneer in socio-economic development, working with professional institutes. And this is the most crucial time. It's not an ordinary time of orientation. It's a very, very crucial time. India is, as I said, India has the largest number of population of youths. And you who are here to study this subject, you have come through a long uh, years of studying and scoring marks and coming to this, making a choice, or maybe many of you, your parents have made a choice to come and join MBA. Though I don't agree with that, I would like people to join a study by their choice. But unfortunately, in India, parents have their lot of pressure. Many of them uh, come here by the choice of their parents. But anyway, you are here now. Now your parents have invested a lot of money, and your teachers are going to teach you. The situation of the country at this time, reality of your orientation time, is very, very extraordinary. It is very compelling. It is very fragile. The situation of the entire world is very fragile and very challenging. I see people, many people are talking to me on email or Facebook or sending messages or person to person video conferencing. What can they do? How will they do it? Whether they do this course or not. So I personally feel that this is a time for all of you to first of all realize that your parents have invested lot of money and their dreams in this professional study for you to join it. You have come with lot of dreams. Your institute has a dream of being an institute where students should be meritorious, they should bring a good name to the institution. So even if the everybody has dreams, but the situation due to COVID-19, the vision is very blurred. You all know blur? The picture at the moment is very blurred. What will happen to the country's business? What will happen to the employment? What will happen to the skill? What will happen? So it's a lot of pressure, lot of expectation, um, and but for you, I would say it's a time to be fully confident, to come with a very positive attitude of getting settled. Once you have decided that you are going to do your MBA, you should, you have made a choice now. You have taken admission, you have paid the fees, and you are admitted. And it's a time for you to, first of all, I would recommend that there is a, before I talk about your settling in, I know that the major challenge between the students and parents is parents want the student to, their children, boys and girls, to study and score good marks and focus on career, profession, and earning money. They expect you to study because they want you to earn money for yourself. And then the second demand will be, okay, now you have studied, you earn, now you get married and run your family. So that is the one dream of the parents. They want you to, and your institution wants to be smart students and doing very well and behaving very well. This, I also know students. I have, when you have introduced me, I think it's a old data. Only at this place where I'm sitting here is my house, where I train people in sustainable development. And before COVID-19 was declared, March 12th, I had trained 86,000, mostly youths, mostly like you people. And I have seen them, I have interacted with them. I am mentor to many students, many have done internship with me. I know, especially when they come to college or an institution, uh, MBA. So you want to be look like an MBA. You want to be looking smart. You want to be looking very trendy, very stylish, and very, and you want to draw a lot of attention. And there is a lot of craving for glamour, especially When you are coming in the first session, it goes slowly. It's the dust is taken off. But this is one of the biggest challenge. How your parents uh, expect you. So your orientation is not only how to get adjust in the institute. You have to be aligned to your parents. You have to be aligned to your institute. You have to be aligned to yourself. And first thing is that, yes, I always say that education, purpose of education is to make people smart and good. If you're only smart, good to nobody. I can give you the biggest example of my 72 years of life is Bin Laden. Bin Laden was the smartest person in the world, but he used his smartness for destruction. You need to be good for construction, reconstruction. You have to, if you're serving your country, if you want to sustain yourself, the purpose of life. When I'm talking about sustainability, I've been asked by Rekha Atri madam to talk about sustainability. So let me quickly talk about sustainability. Uh, this is 11:21. So I'll try to uh, take, can I take 15 minutes? 15,
Yes,
20
ma'am.
minutes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, please.
So sustainable development, uh, the definition from old times is use of natural resources in a way that we, without compromising for the resources for the coming generation. This is the Brennan Commission's definition in entire history of uh, science and whatever subject. When I was invited in 1992 to Rio de Janeiro for the Earth Summit, I was invited to receive an award for eradication of guinea worms from 302 villages as a outstanding work for environment. But being at Rio de Janeiro and Earth Summit, I uh, I learned about Agenda 21. I would like all of you to learn what is Agenda 21 because I don't have time to talk about that. And I learned about the environmental problems of the entire world. I was never aware. That was the first time I was sitting with the people of entire world who came to put all the problems on one platform and everybody to understand. That is the time when I came back with the commitment, I'm never going to do anything in my life which will harm environment. And I questioned the definition. I said, when we do not have resources now, we do not have the amount of water we need, we don't have that much of oxygen, trees, we don't have, we have finished our soil with chemicals, we have filled our sky with pollution. So all the five elements, nature, we don't have the balance, we are bankrupted. This COVID corona is the result of uh, destroying the habitats of natural creations of God. So I personally feel there is a God, there is a power which is nobody knows, but there is some power which has created all these. First of all, we human beings have been the God's best creation, uh, potentials. It depends on we become best or not. This is the reason I'm talking to you. How to become good and smart and good, then good to better and better to best. Best we can we have been given two special powers: power of reasoning, making a choice between good and bad. So to me, sustainability is human beings spiritual social responsibility for our material, social, economic, environmental and spiritual development, mental development, that we use the resources in a way that we live in harmony with all creations of God. We have that bad which has created this coronavirus. Cause of that, it's you can imagine if you're standing on a house of red ants. You cannot bear them for 1 minute. You know what will happen. If anybody has experienced, will know it. So even red ants are so small thing, but this has shown its power to the entire world. There was a time when people used to say first word, second word, third word, countries, power, superpower. There is no word now with L. There is only one word. Delete the L out of word is COVID-19. That's one word. So this is the time you all have to realize this corona is not going to go right now. So the two Hindi lines that I define sustainability is विश्व का कल्याण सोचना पड़ेगा और हमें think globally and act locally करना पड़ेगा for sustaining harmony, sustaining relations and harmony with all creations of God. This is my definition, and maybe tomorrow you will make your own definition, but at this time, from climate change and from sustainable development goals, I will also like you to study sustainable development goals, 17 goals. So you need to know what are sustainable development goals now. Whatever you learn in MBA, you do a profession, you will have to learn theory and practice of both. It's not a time that you can read a book and you can pass an exam, MBA, and you have a degree and you will get a job. Forget the jobs now. You have to now create employment, generate employment. You have to be learning things hands on, and you have to know you are going to do, what will be the consequences of no matter what you do. Business management. And that will impact all your life cycle and the life cycle of your family and the entire world. So learning to No, change your habits, change your behavior. Orientation. Now your orientation has to be MBA. What does it mean? Masters, you have to become masters of business management. Administration, MBA, master of business administrator. You can't administer. Now see the collector's position now. Collector is all the time on the road to help take care of people getting into hospital, announcing something, sanitizing vegetables, and you can imagine what all the things you have to improve your knowledge, your skills, your attitude, your practices. Taking in view of your cultural values. You can't do things here what people do in America after doing MBA. You have to take care. You have to be, I think it's very important for you to, first of all, realize your own self-worth. What will make your self-worth is not what you look like. I know, I don't know why in the colleges people have to wear a tie and a coat in summer and all those dresses to look like management person. I think it will depend on how you manage things, not how you look like. You can't be a manager if you don't dirty your hands. Why in summertime you have to wear a tie? So we have to respect our culture and making choices to sustain yourself, to develop yourself, to be sustaining your own life, your family, parents or in-laws or children, your wife or husband, everything. You have to develop your immune system. And immune system is not just physical, it's mental, social, spiritual, economic, environmental. Theory and practical. I have been asked to quickly talk about now my own, some of the experience, which I think is very, very important that we learn to live sustainable life. So sustainable life is a little bit different for urban area and rural area. But no matter where we are, what we eat, how we live, and how we uh, how we go on the road, how we behave inside, outside, place of work, classroom, canteen, on the road, boys standing with girls, how to behave with the girls will be very important. Girls also have to learn equally, because I am not in favor of Me Too and girls' feminine behavior. I say a management person is a management person. We have to learn. We are not, I am not into uh, that equality where a sense is coming that maybe the girls will lead and the boys will be left behind. No, you both have to equally respect each. Forget your physical thing. You try to realize your worth. You have to learn managing your life, your body, your soul, and how you can develop your uh, life capacity, intellectual capacity, how you have sense of commitment, how you become law-abiding people, how you become violence-free people, how you become constructive people, how can you establish solidarity, How can you take care of the deprived section of society? How can you bridge the rural-urban gap? Because when people think MBA, there is no MBA for rural development and management of rural businesses. India now will not survive. As the country Prime Minister says, we have to be self-reliant, Atmanirbhar, vocal for local. You have to be self-reliant by your profession, by by developing sustainable technologies, appropriate technologies for appropriate functions. For example, I have trained students who are mentoring, who are working with solar cooker and producing food processing and saving the farmers from committing suicide. Varun Raheja is one of the students. Another student is Raghav Devasthale, who is a pilot trained, but he forgot the pilot. And he said, अब के बाद दीदी आसमान में नहीं उड़ूंगा, अब मैं जमीन पे काम करूंगा. He is working on 2 acres of land, growing herbs, natural products, organic farming, using solar drives and green tea and herbs and things that we need now in COVID time. So we have to be developing, and it requires innovations. You can't go on Google, you can't work with cut and paste anymore. The time is over, because that was for passing an exam. Now every day of your life is going to be an exam. Lockdown period has taught us that every minute of a life is an exam. We have to pass through it, and we have to do justice to ourselves and to other people. And self-reliance, how we work individually and how we work collectively. How we forget the caste, creed and religion and gender and gaon wale ke mazdoor ke bache. You are seeing now an IAS officer, son of a chai wala, thele wala, and that doesn't matter aapke father kya karte the. When you are doing your degree, you have to prove yourself. You can't live on the glory of your parents. Okay? So your attitude, you have to learn to do good teamwork. And at the end, I'll just say a few things about me that Rekha Atri madam have asked me, that I have tried to, you have introduced me. I have been working 35 years. I'm wife of a Northern Irish British citizen Baha'i, and we both are followers of Baha'i faith. We both left our homes, our professions, our career, just because we both wanted to serve India's neglected people, deprived people, social, economically deprived people. You can go to Google and see my YouTube channel, Janak Palta McGilligan. Everybody can read my Facebook website, but in short, 26 years, we both developed a campus. We worked with 500 villages, 6,000 tribal girls who had never gone to school, who were laborers. Even the children of tribals of Jabua were laborers. If one thing made me proud during this migrant labor's tragedy of India, trauma of India, that the girls we trained, they and their families are self-sustained in their own homes, in their own communities. They are generating income, they are self-employed, they are helping their community. None of them had to go as migratory laborers after they were trained at the institute. So they brought down the number of infant mortality rate, female mortality rate. They learn to clean the environment, they learn to grow organic food, they learn to use solar cookers for livelihood. We developed a campus, self-sustainable campus, zero waste campus, natural sources of energy. Tribal girls becoming trainers, we developed curriculums for them. The girl who came illiterate after 6 months, she is a human resource for sustainable community development. And they are. The sons and daughters of those girls are studying in IIT, banks, they are growing food, they are doing sustainable development. They don't drink alcohol. They have stopped using drugs. They have, those women are those girls, 15 years old girls. I think it's very important for you to be college students to be aware that you don't get involved in ragging, you don't get involved in drugs, you don't get involved in any habit forming drugs, smoking, this, saying bad words or doing anything violent. Never do politics. When you want to be a politician, become a politician. When you are studying, just be a good student. So those girls have proven their worth. And 26 years after we decided to live in a village, my husband, Jimmy McGilligan, never went back to Northern Ireland. He spent all his life here. We both decided to live in a village because we thought the only way we can play our role as social and environmental human beings to live a sustainable life ourselves, not asking people to be, you do this, you do that. No, we are doing. So you want to learn? Okay, come, welcome. So after, you can go to Jimmy McGilligan Center for Sustainable Development. And I think there are more than 70, 80 videos and documentaries. I don't have time now to talk because I want to listen to your questions. But 3 things I have achieved for myself here in this place in 9 years. Uh, my husband Jimmy built this house on half-acre of land, and with an idea, it's a house. You see, there is no light on in the house. We don't use any light in daytime, and no AC, no washing machine, no waste of anything. So we are giving solar and wind energy power, 19 street light to 50 tribal families in our neighborhood that Jimmy built a power station and solar and wind power station. Those before we were about to come to this house, we both met with an accident and I lost Jimmy. We both had decided not to have our children because I had 3 years old Burley Development Institute for Rural Women when I married him. We didn't have this condition, but we both understood this, that we will not have our children. And we no regrets because I have 6,000 thousands. I am grandmother of Nani and Dadi of lakhs of children now, thousands of tribal villages and my own village now. So Jimmy left me alone, but I stood up for myself. I will not take any single penny from anybody. Jimmy McGilligan Center is not a funded NGO, but whatever work I'm doing at my own. And one of the tribal girls I trained at the Burley Institute, she and her family, we all live here. We are all self-sustainable. From March 12th till now, never gone to shop anything. We have everything we need here. We grow what we need to eat. But I don't make choices of eating those things which I don't have. I eat what I grow. I don't have any craving for eating things from outside. So I had safe. One thing, food sustainability. Second is zero waste. 35 years, I have not generated any waste. I'm plastic free. I have my glass. I start in the morning till night. I use the same glass. This cover is for Nanda to know that this is my glass. So I save water. She doesn't have to clean it. People are talking about maids. I don't have a maid. I live with a family. So the attitude, the suffering people have done, you have to learn when you become MBA. You don't become bosses and owners, and don't treat people as subordinates and servants. They are human beings. They have a dignity. If you want them to, if you want to progress, you have to let them progress in their spiritual and physical life also. Third thing is energy, use of energy, solar energy, natural energy. I have 13 solar cookers. My Modi ji said Ujjwala scheme, for Ujjwala scheme, he wants to give, people should leave their LPG. I left my LPG. I said, ye lijiye Modi ji, आज के बाद मैं LPG use नहीं करूँगी. I was the first woman to say from Indore, लीजिए. So I use LPG gas cylinder, change it after 2 years and 5 months. So I have not done BBA, MBA, but I am able to manage my life, administer myself and my family. Day organic, we created a Javik Setu. There is in my village, people are making honey bee farming. They have milk dairy. They are making natural oil, cooking oil, badam oil, and everything. So it's a small community where people are learning to be having a sustainable community development. So I stop here, and I want to tell you at the end that in my life, I survived an first successful open heart surgery of India at the age of 16. That brought me to social work. In 2007, I had 4 cancer surgeries. In 2011, I survived a car accident after losing my husband. But I learned this COVID time should not make us panic and worried and negative, and these people are committing suicide. Why should we commit suicide? We don't have a choice how we will die. We have to have faith in us, faith in God, and we should follow one thing. We don't have a choice how we will die, but we have one choice, how to live. Wow. I'm learning to live. Thank you so much.
Superb, ma'am. Superb. I'm actually having goosebumps listening to you. My God, what a phenomenal work for the society you have done. Amazing. I mean, there is one student who has asked this question: how did you find a cause? Because you said you've not had a formal education. You've already told that cause that you and Jimmy sir decided to come back to India and work for the upliftment of the socio-economically deprived people. And one question which Megha, one of our students, is asking, ma'am, is initially what difficulties were faced by you when you were doing such a great work? It must not be easy for you that time. So what all difficulties, how did you mold the minds of rural people to get into this?
I never took life, never treated life that there are difficulties. There were no problems in my life. there were no difficulties. There were challenges, and I took the challenges as opportunities to keep going. I know the straight path. I have a role. I have to keep playing as long as I am still there.
You've also given an example of one student had asked, what simple things can we do in daily life for saving natural environment? And one example you just gave with the glass of water which you use throughout the day and you cover it. Very simple, small things in life where we can stop the wastage of water, we can save our environment. I mean, there might be many more ways, but then due to paucity of time, I'm taking up the next question of our director, sir. Ma'am, sir is asking that what is the significance of being socially sensitive for younger generation and how can they become better business leaders?
Would you repeat it?
Ma'am, what is the significance of being socially sensitive for the younger generation and how can they become better business leaders?
Okay. I have already said that.
Yes, ma'am. But then maybe you can...
Socially sensitive means that you are just, you are not hurting people, you are not treating them lower than you, and you don't treat yourself higher than anybody else. You value everybody, even for children. I always tell parents come to my house and they say, they want to just, they're curious to come to my house. They're curious because they are at a new place which they have never seen. First thing the father will say, sit down properly. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. So I ask them, better you have a do list for your children. So everybody should have a do list and don't show your power and don't suppress. I think the best thing is don't show your power and don't suppress, don't oppress, don't insult them, don't embarrass them. If you want to help them, guide them, try in a very non-threatening manner.
Right.
Take them into confidence, love them. I think love is something most important in life that you can, I survive only because of love of the people for me.
How nice. Ma'am,
all that I have with me is the love of the people for me.
In continuation to the same question which Dr. Prithvi had asked, Dr. Megha Jain, she is the faculty in charge who is the chairperson of our Social Responsibility Committee, and we have named the committee as Jai Care. So, ma'am, we are based in the village Dakachia, as you know, and we keep doing some or the other social activities. Sometimes we do blood donations, sometimes we teach the children in the village in the government school, and sometimes we try to have health camps. So, ma'am, we would like to have some inputs from you as a guiding word that what else can we do in our village and how can we go about it?
Yes,
we will have to work big in it, but then
I have always been invited in CSR big conclaves and things as a chief speaker, or so I tell them, or even the clubs, these social clubs, Rotary, Lions, or women, or community-based clubs. So I tell people, don't do events, do a program. And the program should be empowering local people, not doing mercy or compassion, giving them, giving them something. It's how you empower them, how they feel important. And if you can give your time, one thing that nobody is willing today, my experience of 35 years with all institutions like yours, no student wants to give time and nobody wants to give half an hour every day. Or because the only thing you can do is share your knowledge and experience, and you be the role models. You
Right.
have to be the role models. You can't ask them to do something which you are not doing.
Yes.
Don't just show something. Don't put up plastic banners to show what you're doing. Do something which will sustain. Sustainable human resources need to be made.
Definitely. Ma'am, I'm getting a lot of messages here where students are saying, ma'am, no words to say for the session which you've just conducted. Very inspiring. They have huge respect for you. And one student is asking that, Sakshi is saying, can we come and meet you once everything is normal?
Sure, as soon as the COVID little bit reverts back,
So,
I am available on email. But if anybody has urgency, can email me, fix an appointment with me. I talk to them now on video conference.
yes, ma'am.
I don't communicate on WhatsApp, and but I'm sure that I'll be happy as long as I'm okay. I
Sure.
tell people I'm asymptomatic, positive. Be careful, don't come and meet me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. But one last question from my side. So I'm taking this privilege to ask you this question. Ma'am, we are so proud in Indore that we are number one position in Swachhta Abhiyan. But then what other things do you feel that Indore needs at this moment?
Survection 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to practice how to learn living without kachara. Don't generate waste. You can't keep swachhata without practicing no waste. Just,
So that is the next challenge now. No waste Indore.
it's not a
Something like
challenge. It's a commitment.
yes, ma'am.
You have to make a commitment. I'm taking you a photo here for me. Okay, yes, what else?
Ma'am, one question from Abhishek. He is our placement coordinator
Yes, Abhishek.
at Indore. So, Abhishek, if you would want to ask it yourself.
Ma'am, my question was that most of the students, once they pass out, they, I'll not blame them, but they are very money-minded. I mean, they want money in their life. Now it is, we have been told by our parents, and we have been beaten by our generation, saying that पहले अपना देखो, उसके बाद दूसरों का देखना. पहले अपनी नाव बचाओ, फिर दूसरों की नाव बचाना. First you become sustainable, पैसे
Yes.
कमा लो, उसके बाद CSR करना. So if you can give a message that, to this generation, that how exactly they can practice, helping others along with helping themselves. So they think that कि पहले हम पैसे कमा लें, settle हो जाए, उसके बाद फिर हम करेंगे दूसरों के लिए. So if you can give a message to them.
See, I think it is everybody's personal understanding about purpose of life. If you think that your first purpose is that you want to be earning money only, while you are earning money, you have lost all that time for service to society. So you can't have, I think the best role you can play while earning money is dignity to people, and each your deed is also helpful for the other person. You make something, you do something which is also helping the client. It should be win-win client.
Right.
So you should be doing things which will help others also. I don't think there is a way who guarantees that this person will live after the retirement. Many people tell me that after retirement, but I took retirement much earlier, and I am not a retired person at all.
You're more busy,
I
ma'am.
never retired myself. But
So,
I
ma'am,
lead a very, very happy and rich life. One day, the chartered accountant of Lakshmi Mittal, I'm sure you all know who is Lakshmi Mittal. He saw on Google, he saw Web Dunia's video on me, a woman who lives like multi-millionaires or something like that. अरबपति से भी ज़्यादा अच्छा जीवन जीती है. This man came for 2 days to live with me, and he told me that he's still around less than 50. He said, I have enough of money. I have seen enough of power. Now I don't want to continue money, and I have come to you to learn your ways. And now he keeps me phoning. I'm trying to getting out of this, and I'm trying to do whatever best I can with all the money I have. So, and I don't like that money of giving somebody कि आपने उसको भिखारी हैं और आप देने वाले हैं, आप वो बेचारा ऐसे खड़ा है, वो देना अच्छा नहीं है. डिग्निटी अगर किसी को नहीं दी आपने, I think if you give people dignity, even if you are not giving them money, it's giving to society.
Thank you, ma'am. One request which Dr. Megha wants to make very personally to you. So over to you, Megha, ma'am. As I introduced her, she takes care of the Social Responsibility Committee, JCare. So, Megha.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you so much for a wonderful session. And it was very much inspiring. Actually, students were mentioning goosebumps. I mean, Rekha ma'am was mentioning, same is happening at my end. Ma'am, we sometimes lack such practices. We do not have the knowledge of such practices with which we can help the villages around us to practice sustainable development the methods, right? So can we make our students join you for a small internship so that they can learn some small sustainable development practices which we can also implement at our place, and we would also help the village around us so that there is a series of development that can take place, because we do not have that kind of knowledge that of course you have. So a small internship request for our students, ma'am. Is it possible?
Ma'am, you're muted. Ma'am, you're muted.
Ma'am, the mic is...
I don't agree with the concept of helping people. I think if you want to serve them, and what you have said, I am always there to do my bit, and you can come and learn in my village how people have progressed in this village, what kind of differences in their lives. It's not learning from me. I think it's good that you learn from the people.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
There is a difference in their life, rather than I tell like I have done this, I have done that. That's not I like to do.
Ma'am, thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, before we close today's session and I present my vote of thanks to you, I would request Prithvi sir to speak a few words, please. Sir, you're muted.
Madam, you have made our day today great, and the expectations we had from you, you have exceeded much, much higher than that. And that was the expectations we had, that today we will have the experience from you. And as Megha madam was suggesting, that certainly we would take your advice and your guidance to take forward our JCare project in our institute. So thank you very much for guiding us and making this day a memorable day, okay, for all of us.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So, ma'am, we have come towards the end of our session, and I would request Abhishek, sir, to share the screen, please. So, ma'am, if you can see, this is a green certificate, which we have a tradition at Jaipuria, Indore, and we partner with Grow Trees. And there is a unique certificate number, if you can see in the top right corner. I would be emailing this certificate. So while the certificate was made, a tree has been planted in your name at Koraput, Odisha in India. So thank you so much, ma'am, for sparing your time. You can, I would be definitely delighted to meet you personally, and we all would definitely be coming. The students are expressing a lot of their willingness to come and learn sustainable practices from the villagers and see for themselves how one person can make a change in the society. You are a living example of that, ma'am. Thank you so much for all the work you do, ma'am. So with this, we come to the end of today's session. Definitely, our meetings would be more due in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
So we have anything lined up, or should I end the meeting?
I think we can end the meeting, Abhishek.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.